You're also part of the solution. You can help by making your home more energy efficient. Together, we have the power to make a difference.
This message brought to you by Cumberland Electric Membership Corporation.
Hi, this is Jordan Lefevre of the Lefevre Quartet, and you're listening to 1100 WSGI, Springfield, Tennessee, God's Informer.
One street over there's a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Times gone by, I've traded black dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning. How you doing? This is 1100 WSGI. 1100, let me turn the music down and say that again. This is 1100 WSGI. I am U-Turn LaVern, and yes, this is one street over, a chance to know what's going on one street over from where you live in. And I'm going to fix this mic volume real quick. Hang on just a second here. There we go. Now you can hear me. But hello. Welcome to it. A beautiful day in Robertson County. What's going on with it today? I'll tell you, we've got just beautiful weather coming back in. You know, it was snowing earlier this week. So fun. I have some video of my kiddos out in the parking lot there at Greenbrier High School playing in the snow. They were so excited. Of course, you had the little bit of snow that came through up in, around Crossville and Cookville. So it was just, kind of a fun little crazy moment. But now, we're back, going to be 70 tomorrow, y'all. I mean, I'm not sure it's not going up to 70 today, but the weather, absolutely gorgeous this weekend. You'll find me working on my house all weekend. I'll talk a lot about my renovations and things that we've been going on at our house. And oh my goodness, I don't know. It's hard, when you get everything just kind of turned upside down and you're living like you're, it's bless your hearts if you do that more than just a few months. That's a lot. And we're not even doing anything that major, really. And then I guess we are, but it's just got things kind of torn up. So we are dedicating this weekend to sticking around town and getting some things. Now, we're actually going to go to church here as well. I think we're going to pop in over at Flu Ellen and just go to church with them locally, just to keep from having to. We're part of the Madison Church of Christ and have been since 1989. But that drive, it's good 45 minutes or something like that to go in. So we've got so many close friends here around town, and love all the things that they're doing in so many of the different congregations. We might there's Epiphany that's here that we have an affiliation with Celebrate Recovery. But I think we're going to stick around town all weekend here in Robeson County. We're not going to go see the grandkids. That's hard to do. Because, anything that they've got going on, you don't want to miss it if you're just within arm's reach. But, man, I don't know about y'all. I can't get anything done because I'm running around all the time. I know my friends, I see Mary and Paul Rainey. Paul's on here all the time with me. And it's so funny because they're both retired, he and his bride, two of the busiest people I've ever met in my life. And my husband and I, we retired into teaching. Of course, that's, crazy busy with teaching. And we just absolutely adore it and love it. But then you have all these things that you're trying to do, especially when you're in the middle of a project at your house. And I mean, Thanksgiving's up on us. I mean, we're 2 weeks away. And you should see my house. It's a mess. So if you're coming to my house, if you're any of my, family and extended family and friends that are coming to my house on that Friday, who knows what it's going to be. I will have turkey and dressing. Y'all bring everything else. But anyway, it's going to be fine. I hope that y'all can live that way going into the holidays. I think we put way too much pressure on ourselves during the holidays to have perfection. And I did that, man. I did that when my kids were little. It's like I wanted to give them the perfect Christmas, the perfect this, the perfect everything. And you know what? All they need is just your perfect love and the perfect love that they have through Christ and God and all those things. And if you can raise your kids up in that, then everything's perfection. So I think we put way too much pressure on ourselves. And, you get so many, people who are young families, you get so much advice from so many people. That would be my advice to you is just chill out, have fun during the holidays. And if it's a chaotic mess and if you don't get your tree up until, 2 minutes before Christmas, so what? Let go of the date and just enjoy time with your family. And I've said this so many times. If you're a boy family, we're a boy family completely. And it was such a blessing when I finally saw that I didn't have to do things on Thanksgiving Day, on Christmas Eve. And it lets pressure off of my kids' family. It lets pressure off of my daughter-in-law's family. And you just have so much more fun. You have all these extra days. The Rainies, they taught me that a lot. I think I learned a lot from them because they've worked in, Paul was with fire department 41 years. Their son is a part of the fire department as well. And it's just, when you've got folks that are in that kind of world, then you have got to make adjustments and I think Mary, her dad was a firefighter. So she grew up that way, that you didn't get to do things on the day because they might be on duty. So, you just make those adjustments. But as you're going into the holidays, man, I hope you'll just chill out and have some fun. And, even if your house is a chaotic mess, just bring your loved ones in, have fun, and they don't care what it looks like. Just have some good times together. Okay, Faith Friday. Normally we would have Jack Martin in here. He just wasn't able to make it this morning, so I've reached out to Lee Marie. She's going to pop in because she's got a litany of things that are going on, including their fundraiser that's happening tonight at the Well in the Square with Steve Jarrell. He's going to be there, and he's going to perform, and everything that is raised. There's no ticket price to get into this. But everything that is raised is going to be going to help pay for the cost of putting these Operation Christmas Child boxes in the hands of kids all around the world through Samaritan's Purse. You can get these boxes at Crossroads. You can fill them up, and then you can take them to Crossroads. There's going to be actually about 4 representatives from Samaritan's Purse there tonight. So if this is something maybe you've been wanting to do with your grandkids, your kids, go and get some of these boxes from Crossroads, get them filled up, come back and enjoy the show. They're going to have birthday cake, all that kind of stuff, because Lee Marie's birthday was yesterday. And so they're going to have some light refreshments there for that. But they're saying that for every $10 they can raise, that covers the cost of processing one of the shoe boxes. And that's not administrative costs. That's like follow-up. with the kiddos that are getting these. Because you want to love on them and give them this, but let them know that the love of Jesus is behind it, and that takes some doing to get that done. So that's what's going on with Lee Marie tonight, and she'll be coming in to talk a little bit more about that. We may have some other guests popping in here with us having this opening here on Faith Friday. We'll see what happens. But with all that said, I thought it would be interesting to unpack something here on Faith Friday, Watch This, Me and You, that we talk a lot about, but maybe you don't really know the nuts and bolts of it. We talk about Celebrate Recovery. And I'm affiliated with the one here at Epiphany Baptist Church. That was where we got started during COVID. I had my friend Matt Driscoll before COVID. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're bringing Celebrate Recovery." When people hear that, they hear the word recovery, and you assume that they're talking about drug and alcohol. Well, that word recovery applies to so many different things. We especially understand that now because we've gotten a little bit more aware of what early trauma, we talking with Tiffany Thompson. She's another one we could have brought in today to talk about, because I know they're having their first graduation, a graduation from Safe Baby Court. And I've got to reach out to her about that because that's coming up, and we'll be talking to her more about that. I'll try to get her in here next week. But she talks about what early childhood trauma how it can affect people for the rest of their life. And this is something when I've had an opportunity to present at Celebrate Recovery, I've kind of leaned back into, and I'm not going to get into, some of the nuts and bolts of it. I'm not going to get as deep into it here. I just want to kind of give you a little bit of an overview. But the things that have happened to people in their childhood, and so much trauma has happened to people in their childhood. And this isn't, we have so many people. I'm just astounded at the people I meet and Celebrate Recovery, that it's childhood trauma, all kinds of trauma that are affecting them to this day. And they're, I'll be 63 here pretty soon. And I can still talk about, the hurt that was done to my heart for things like, from the very, my very first memories of when we lost Kenneth Pease, our hired hand in Vietnam, and how that broke my heart and made me very afraid to work in. I've got so recruited to be in the military. I was just too big of a chicken. I was so afraid of it because of that early memory of what happened to Kenneth. And, we lost him so quickly. He stepped on a landmine. It just seemed like he'd only been there like 6 months, and he was gone. And I loved him so much, and I was so proud of him. And I remember him, to me, my childhood memory was he was so proud to go and serve his country. Now, he was drafted. So was that the path he wanted? Was that the future he had hoped for? I'm sure it wasn't. But nonetheless, when he told us, my childhood memory was, that's a proud soldier ready to serve. And so with that in my mind, and then losing him so tragically, so quickly, it impacted me for the rest of my life. So that early, memory as a kid, I can still, if I go and present on something about Vietnam, I'll get weepy because that just comes back up and I can't help it. And so that's still affecting me in my 60s. And then I can talk about, people who see me, they're like, my gosh, you're a big girl. And I have been my entire life. And so I got picked on a lot. Sometimes I can talk about that and I'll get emotional about it. It's still something that affects me, and I can talk to people who had much different trauma in children, who were in abusive situations, who were abused in every kind of way that you can imagine. I can't even fathom how they deal with it. If losing somebody that I really loved and cherished early on, which happens to a lot of people, if being bullied affects me the way it does, which happens to just almost everybody, I can't imagine what somebody who had the trauma of really horrifying abuse, how they cope. And from everything from physical, just, too harsh of punishment, to the stories of people being beat when they were little children, to being sexually assaulted. I can't even imagine the stories we hear, guys, in Celebrate Recovery. It just blows me away when I see the lives that the people who are not dealing with that because they think nobody will listen or believe them. And man, I say all this to say there is not a one of you listening to me that would not benefit from a program like Celebrate Recovery, whether that one or not. But the thing I love about CR is that it is literally for everything. We can sit around the table. I haven't been able to be present for our what we call open share, where we get around with just the girls and we just talk. And I really miss that, but it's just with my school schedule right now, I'm getting up so early. It's just too late of a night. But I do have my friends from my close relationships there that I do talk to. They're the people who I can be real with and talk to. And sometimes we'll, go into one of those and I'll be back whenever we're not in session, but we can sit around that table. What my point is on this, we can sit around that table sometimes, and maybe we're just talking about the fact that, okay, I'm really overwhelmed right now with the holidays coming up, and I've got this and that, and it's nothing real heavy, but it's just a place to unburden yourself. And then sometimes we will have people come in that will start talking about the trauma of their childhood, and you just hold them and you just hug them and you just love them through it. Or the trauma that they're going through right now, where they're in a situation that is not good, and it's harmful to their life, and you just love them through it. So we'll cover the spectrum. Sometimes it's lighthearted, sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it's just real heavy. But if you don't have a place to lay that down with people that you trust, you end up with all the things. The habits that come from trying to disguise and to cover and to ferret out the noise of it, right? And so that's what Celebrate Recovery is. And again, I had the opportunity to teach on Wednesday night, and it happened to be our very final lesson that we taught. And it was talking about kind of an overview of what we go through. Celebrate Recovery is based on 25 different lessons that we have. And they start with the STEP program that you see in so many programs. And in those STEP programs, we talk about, come on in and just make yourself at home there, Miss Lee Marie. But the STEP programs, they'll talk about a higher power, But in Celebrate Recovery, we name our higher power, which is Jesus Christ. We're very clear about that. You don't have to be there with us, but that's where we'll meet you wherever you are, but that's where we are. And then they took the Beatitudes and they turned them into principles to live your life by. And so when we go through basically a year, we'll do a lesson, and then we'll hear a testimony from somebody whose life's been changed because they got involved with the Celebrate Recovery program. And then we'll have a lesson and then a testimony, and then we'll rotate through that. And as we build on the program, we just keep doing it over and over and over, because I've been involved. I'm coming up on my 5th year. Tax Day is pretty much my anniversary. It's kind of a funny anniversary to have, but Tax Day is kind of my anniversary. And so it just cracks me up that, I'm about to hit my 5th year with this, and I don't know it has helped me so much. Every time I start getting into a place where I'm getting overwhelmed, or I'm getting into a place where I'm starting to kind of get inside myself and not really living what I think God wants me to live, or I'm starting to feel just a little bit selfish, and starting to get, well, they shouldn't have done that. And you know what? It's life. I can lean back into the principles that I've learned and the steps that I've learned through Celebrate Recovery, and I can be okay. And I'm gonna pause for a minute. And we're gonna talk to Lee Marie about all the things she's got on her mind. But I just want to real quickly say the lesson that we went over on Wednesday night. We started out by talking about how that if you're really trying to work through things in your life, these are the things that will trip you up if you don't do it. And that's if you come into a process and you find some things that are helping you. With us, say work the steps. So if you've got some things in your life and it's an order of things that you do that have really helped you, when you stop doing those, you're going to see things start kind of upending again. So you have to work through the steps and the things and the principles that you know work in your life. With us, it's all about recovery. The principles are the Beatitudes. They're principles based upon the Beatitudes. And that is such a key thing to living life and staying in line with what God wants so you can have peace in your life. That's the ultimate thing. You've got to find out what works for you and then work it. As we say in Celebrate Recovery, keep coming back because it only works if you work it, and believe you me, you're worth it, right? Then you've got to make sure that you have surrendered your life to God. If you're not having peace in your life, you need to surrender your life to God and to Jesus Christ. Okay? I mean, well, that's probably, that's the number one step. Okay, is that you can't do it without him. That's the number one step. So work the steps, but the first step is surrendering your life to God, and that means everything. I mean, the trauma from your childhood, your finances, the fact you eat too much, the fact that you've, got bad relationships that you need to work from, the fact that maybe you're a little bit difficult to work with, all the things, you give it to the Lord. And then if you've not accepted the fact that what Christ did on the cross has completely purified you and you're forgiven, you need to really process through that. That's one of the biggest things. A lot of people that come through that have had trauma in their life, that have done things, they have a hard time forgiving themselves, and then they have a hard time forgiving others. Those are two key things, and we talk about that with Shannon Baumgartner's stuff, right? The things about the forgiveness. And so that's why, when you and I have talked about this, I'm like, that's a key element. Key in Celebrate Recovery is forgiving yourself and forgiving others, and then not being afraid to change the things in your life that you need to change. That's so hard for people sometimes that are in terrible relationships. It's like there's a quote here. It says, it's easier to be comfortable in the misery that you know than to move forward into the fear that you don't know. And I just think that is just, powerful statement. And also, too, then you've got to accept your responsibility for the things that are going on around you. And if you don't have a good team of people around you to help you through this, you've got to have what we call in CR accountability partners. You've got to have mentors. You've got to have sponsors, things like that. Accountability partners, number one, good, close friends that you can talk to, that you can rely on, that will help you, that will go, hey, LaVern, that was stupid, that will call you out. And, for a lot of married couples, that's each other. We'll call each other out on stuff. And that's hard sometimes. And if you're a dude, you really need dudes that will do that with you. And if you're a girl, you need girls that will do that. Because you need the person that you're in that, that's one thing with CR. It's men with men and women with women. And a lot of step programs, you don't have that. Well, that's a dangerous thing, guys. That's a dangerous thing. Men need men to talk to, and women need women to talk to. God made us different. But those are the key things that we talk about. And then at the very end, there's an action plan. And this is like the very last lesson in CR. And then we start over. But the action plan is you need to take a daily inventory of your life. What's going on in my life? Am I hurting? It's like we have a heart test, and I can't remember what they all are, but are you anxious? Are you resentful? Are you tense? There's things. What's going on in your life? Did you do something today that you need to offer somebody an amends for? Did I say something? I've had times when, Lee Marie and I will be rushed, and I'll be I might be short with her, and I'll mention, man, I'm sorry. I hope that didn't come out wrong. We've shared things like that because we're old friends. And there's probably not a friend in my life that I haven't had to reach out to and say, oh, man, I hope I wasn't too short with you. I'm tense. And a lot of the times they'll go, I didn't even notice, but it's bothering me. So I need to make sure and make amends so I know it's okay, right? And so you kind of go through that daily inventory. How did today go? How was I with my spouse? Do I need to look at my husband and say, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, be a little, grumpy when I came in. I love you. Did you have a great day? Number 2, plan of action. You got to spend daily time with God. And this is another thing I learned from Shannon when she got me off that track of just opening my day with negativity. Start your day with praise and worship, prayer, something. And I love what I learned from Steve Hemphill the other day. I don't know if I imagine you listened to the show. And he said, and your mic is on if you want to chime in anytime, babe. But Steve Hemphill said the other day, he said, I have starting my day with, Lord, I cancel the plans that the enemy has for me in the name of Jesus and by his blood. That's a real good way to start your day, because we are in a spiritual battle with the spiritual realm. And if you don't believe that, please just get into a good Bible study. Find a church this weekend, guys. Find a church. You know, my family is Madison Church of Christ. They've been my family since 1989. But I pop around all over. Like I said, I think I'm going to pop in at Fluent. I don't know for sure, but I've got some friends. I'm trying to get them back in church, and I want to go with them somewhere where I think it'd be a good fit for them. And so I'm working on that. And plus, too, I just need to stay in town and work on my houses. I need to not spend time on the road at all this weekend, because I got to get some stuff done at my house with Thanksgiving coming up. And then that final action plan is kind of where I started. Live the 8 principles that we have in Celebrate Recovery, which are the Beatitudes. And it also says, find somewhere to serve. And this is something I was talking with Brian Pulley about yesterday. Service is one of the key things to really having recovery in your life. And don't let that word recovery make you think alcohol and drugs. Yes, it you know, a lot of that is. 30% of the people we work with at Celebrate Recovery are in alcohol and drug recovery. The rest of us are just dealing with all kinds of stuff. I deal with bitterness and resentment real hard. I deal with worry. I deal with spiritual and church issues a lot. I talk a lot about that on here. Everybody knows that. I deal with food issues big. I have a real unhealthy relationship with food. And it's something I struggle with constantly, you know, and you got to deal with those things. If I did not realize I had issues with food, I would be extremely obese, because that's the thing that I want to do for my comfort, for my fun, for everything. And one of the reasons, if you invite me somewhere to eat and I decline, guys, is because I have a really hard time with food things. And it's hard because in ministry, they tell you to come around the table. But when that's like asking me to come and do potlucks and all that kind of thing is like inviting an alcoholic to go to the bar, because I struggle with it so much.
I have Shannon's number for you.
Huh?
She'll pray you through that.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, but here's the thing. I've prayed through it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I get it. And here's the thing. And I know Shannon's got a lot of stuff going on. But, man, I'm in deep study, too, and I respect what she's doing. But, you know, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I just don't know that it's as easy as that. Does that make sense? And I respect that y'all get that it is, but I don't know. I don't mean to come.
Yeah, no worries. No, I mean, I struggle with that, as well. But she does have, and it's not, her, obviously. I mean,
she's going to start coming in here on a regular basis.
Yes,
and we'll talk more deeply about that. Mm-hmm. We'll talk more deeply about that, Yeah. So, because, it's like when you and I first started talking about this ministry that she does is centered around forgiveness and all of that. Well, I understand that, because I spent 20 years in a bitter just pit over the racial things that my family endured during, my last days of my high school. I mean, just bitter, and, because the way they treated my sister and my nephew, just because she had a relationship with an African-American, it's like, what? I mean, the bigotry over that just blew my mind. I thought we were the church, how can that be? And I mean, I was bitter. I had a chip on my shoulder. If you said anything that I construed as even sort of racist, man, I was on you. I would chew you out one side and down the other. And I mean, just bitter. And I see that a lot in the African-American community, that they've been taught that bitterness. And you got to get beyond that, because it's poison to your soul, man. And I understand when you've got grandparents that tell you stories about some of the things they did in a real bigoted world, it makes me angry. It makes me angry that we used to have water fountains for, white people only. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me that we ever enslaved anybody? It makes me want to cry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I get it, but you can't live in that bitterness. So anyway, I guess my thing is when I hear you talk about that, I'm like, oh, I've processed it.
Yeah.
I've processed
Well, and
through
that's
it.
the thing. It's just another, resource for y'all.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
once you have her on,
Yeah.
because they're very,
Yeah.
very specifically targeted,
get
types
it.
of work. And like she says, it's a continual process. Even herself, it's onion layers just keep coming
Mm-hmm.
off. But it's some very different ways to pray, because, I've been through a lot of therapy too, but this, or, groups,
Right.
recovery groups, but this
Right,
is just
right.
very different.
Right.
So I'm excited
So-
that she's going to be a regular.
I am too. And I don't mean to give y'all so much pushback from it, but I guess the thing is that we have to be careful about going, I've got your answer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing is ever
Because-
that easy.
Exactly. And so I tend to push back on things when somebody says, this is it. It's like,
And that
it's
worked
kinda-
for them at that time in
Yeah.
that situation.
Yeah, because I've been through the journeys of some things didn't work for me that did work for other people.
Right.
And so, man, it's already 7:30.
I know we got stuff to talk about.
I tell you what, let me just pause there. Let's just say, guys, it's Faith Friday. Please get with Jesus. I'm just telling you. I'm gonna tell you a real proud thing, man. My son came to my veteran, Jedediah. He came and did the forum thing for us at Greenbrier, where they sit and they ask questions of the some of the veterans from the kiddos. And in the second session, he goes, before I close, in relation to some of the things talking about how it's difficult when you come back, he says, my walk changed when I started walking better with Jesus Christ. He said that to those kids. And I was like,
Nice.
yes.
Very cool.
We have got to get bold about our faith. I had several of my co-teachers go, oh, mama, were you proud? I'm like, are you kidding me? I was so proud of him.
That's awesome.
Because any opportunity we have, because I can't do that in the classroom. Now everybody knows who I am, because all you got to do is Google me and you find out pretty quickly where the things I've written. So the kids know who I am. And when they ask, I can say, but I can't say that in the front of the classroom. But he did.
That's
He's
awesome.
my kid. I
Yay.
was so proud of him. So we've got to do that, guys. We have got, I shared something where, there was something with Tim Tebow that I shared last night. I don't share a lot of stuff anymore because one thing, Facebook has broken my Facebook page, and now I'm a digital creator, and only things that really get any kind of exposure from my page are things that I create.
Well, you know
I
what?
can share things.
It's
and-
interesting because Deborah Grant and I were talking about that last night at dinner, because we both used to have people liking our posts and all this. Our stuff is not getting out. Like we'll post something and it'll be like 2 or 3 likes. And we have over 1,000 people following us. And so I know that we're both being blocked.
It's not, and what it is they've changed the algorithm on it. And so if you're somebody that they see puts out digital content, they have made you my Facebook page now is a digital creator profile. They changed it. I did not change this.
Oh, I should check
I
mine.
didn't change that. I didn't change that. So if you're putting out a lot of digital content, number one, they deleted all of your live posts that you did, and they told us they were going to do it. I didn't get mine downloaded, and I lost some things. But
Well, a lot of the WSGI stuff will be on
it's on
YouTube.
YouTube, and I was able to find.
Now, what do they
something.
consider digital creator?
If you put, I don't really know how they figure it, but I know when they dumped all my stuff and they redid that, they gave me a professional dashboard and all this. I can't tag people anymore. Can't tag. I can't tag my kids.
I'll have to
Can't
check.
I can't tag anybody. But what happens is if I have 5,000 followers, if the program originates on my page, like if I'm streaming live to LaVern Vivio, then it notifies my 5,000 followers. If I share the WSGI page to my page, it doesn't notify my followers.
Okay.
I'm sharing it, and if you happen to go to my page, you'll see it, but you have to physically go to it to see it. It does not share it. So the only way for my 5,000 followers to be notified of this show is for us to have original stream So what are we doing here? Oh, you're getting. I can hand you one, babe. But our cough drops, we got to have them. I'm the supplier of WSGI for cough drops, because if you've ever done anything that's in front of people, you get those tickles in your throat. You need to have these in your pocket. I had this happen. I was standing up for one of my very best friends ever in the world. I've known her longer than my husband, at her wedding, outside, and got a tickle in my throat and couldn't stop coughing in her wedding. I'm so sorry, Ginger. I mean, she knows, but I mean, I was like, I need a cough drop. And and allergies and stuff. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, on social media, when you're sharing things, it has to be your original content. And I don't know how we got off on that, but anyway. So let me talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards. Got to always talk about Barry and Rebecca, because they're our longest running full-time sponsor. We've also got to talk about UPS Store. We'll do that kind of together here in just a minute. And I got to remind you about a couple of things for Bernard Farms, just because I love them. But Barry and Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty. Folks, if you are not sure what your property is worth and you're thinking about selling it, get a free market analysis. You can reach out to Barry and Rebecca anytime. You can go to sellwithbecky.com. You can go to sellwithbecky.com or BUYRobertsonCounty.com. You can give her you can give her a call. Her phone number is 615-504-7425. 615-504-7425. You can find them on social media. If you Google either one of their names, Exit Prime Realty, you're going to find Barry and Rebecca. You're going to find out about his expertise in media marketing. He was a media marketing vice president for 17 years in Nashville. And when you have him involved with your property and making sure it's presented well, you're going to have videography, photography, walkthrough tours, drone footage if needed. They have a piece of property up in Cottontown that they've had listed. That is, they've got an open house. No. This is that's an old open house post. Hang on just a second. But they have some properties that whenever they've got acreage involved, you have got to go and see what's going on. Hang on a second. I got distracted here, y'all. But when you want to, if you're selling property, people want drone footage. Okay, here's the property. It is a Cottontown property, and it is at 358 Spring Valley Drive, 5 acres. You could sell this thing before it ever even, without even having to go through it, because they did such an exceptional job. Walkthrough tour, the photography, drone footage to show you the lay of the land and that it's got a little bit of creek on it. All these things. But if you're really wanting to make sure your property is seen by the most folks in the best light, reach out to Barry and Rebecca, and he's going to make sure that happens. He's the broker here in Springfield. She has an agency office out in White House, and together they bring you Exit Prime Realty. Google them, find them on social media. You'll find unique web pages, unique Facebook pages. But again, Rebecca's number is, again, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or BUYRobertsonCounty.com. Let them know always U-Turn sent you. All right, Lee Marie. Well, what are we going to talk about?
All right. So first off, I just want to
mention this, but you can go ahead and mention it again.
Yeah, no, I'll do that if we have time. But first off, I just want to mention, because today is the library board meeting for the Stokes Brown Public Library. So that is open to the public if anybody would like to attend. I got my Friends of the Library shirt on, because I'm on that Friends of the Library board. So it's at 8:30 a.m. at Stokes Brown Public Library, and they do get money from both the city and the county. So if you want to go and see how that money is being used, or be able to give input on that, there's certain rules, when you have to, address them and everything. But I highly recommend you, if you have time. It's just from about 8:30 to 9:30 today in the boardroom. The library is closed, so you have to enter on the side door on White Street. But it is open to the public. So I just want to.
So this is an actual board meeting, but Friends of the Library
attends it.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So Friends of the Library has their own meeting separately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but there is a library board as well.
There is a library board actual that votes on all the things that they do, and so we go also to that. Some of us that can.
So you see that, and then you can get together with Friends of the Library and say, okay, here's what they're voting on, here's what they're doing.
Right.
And you can kind of report. Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
I love the library, and we got a great one. If you haven't spent any time in there, go for it. Okay, and so what's next?
Also, so this Sunday is the big Coldstream Christian Camp
Yes.
Fall Festival, and there's been some new developments. So that's why
Okay.
when I saw you had an opening, I was really excited because I wanted to update everybody. And so not only are they doing, face painting and games and snacks, hayride, line dancing. I'm going to be doing line dancing right there in Denison Hall. Also, kids can fish. I mean, they have 70 acres over there of just beautiful,
It is gorgeous.
So dress warm, bring a friend. And so a new development is Cindy Norton made a big donation yesterday. So now we're going to have really great food. We initially were just going to have chili, but now I heard we're going to have like hot dogs with all the fixins and perhaps s'mores and, just cider and then hot chocolate and lots of fun stuff. Yeah. So thank you, Cindy, for your donation. And, so also there will be some vendors set up, and it's rain or shine. So they have that big hall there. If weather gets too cold or too wet, we can just go right in there. But obviously some of the things like my line dancing is going to be indoors. But it's just going to be fun for the whole family. It's only $5 if you pre-buy your ticket. And it is Zeffy.com, Zeffy.com that has the tickets for that. Or you can pay at the door. It's $10 at the door or it's $5 pre-sale. And at the door they take cash or Venmo. And, it's still a good deal because obviously, it's a nonprofit. They do need donations. So, if you can donate more, even better. But this is cool because like a lot of the fall festivals are done. Like everybody's in Christmas mode now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and so this is a good opportunity.
Yeah,
to
because
still, Thanksgiving hadn't happened yet.
Exactly. So this is a fun time to just get that one last fall festival in. And so, these activities, matter of fact, my father-in-law is going to bring the rubber band shooting gallery with prizes. And so, I really think that everybody,
see that.
Oh, it's fun.
I want to see that. I want one.
Yeah, he's got both the rifle with the rubber band and also the revolver with the rubber band gun.
I love it.
So, there'll be something for everyone. And yes, adults can participate in that as well.
I love it.
So something for everybody. So it's at Coldstream Christian Camp this Sunday at 3 p.m. They're located at 4730 Goodman Road in Adams. Not too far at all from here, guys. It's like 15 minutes. It's going to start at 3 p.m. this Sunday, November 16th. So I hope you all will come out, and especially those that are thinking of having their next, retreat there or their, because they have so many options. I mean, you can just rent one cabin for a family, or you can rent, a whole bunch, or you can rent the whole, campground.
Yeah.
With the fire pits and just everything. So Coldstream Christian Camp, make sure you get out there this Sunday at 3 p.m. and be part of this fall festival. And I think this is the first time they've had that. So it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
All right. And so then I know you already talked about this Friday night. Tonight. And I know I've had some people, I had two people yesterday actually say, can I borrow a poodle skirt? I said, well, the sock hop is next Friday.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you show up in a poodle skirt, that's fine because Steve Jarrell actually plays a lot of oldies.
Yes, he does.
So we're gonna be line dancing. We're gonna be probably swing dancing too. It's gonna be a blast. So come on out, and it doesn't matter what you wear tonight. You're gonna have fun. And Steve's really set up things nice. He's already got everything, the lights ready, and he's bringing his saxophone and his congas, and he's quite the comedian too.
Yes, he is quite the entertainer. He is so much fun.
So you guys are going to have fun. It's just a nice way for the community to get together, which I'd love to see more of this happen at Well in the Square, because that was really our vision, was to have a place where people could just come together, family friendly, not have to worry about alcohol being served, So come and check out the place. I know some people are thinking about, having things there in the future. So come out tonight. Doors open at 6:30. The concert starts at 7, and it is free admission. And like LaVern said, there'll be some people from Samaritan's Purse there, so you can talk with them, and you can bring boxes, or you can just bring donations. Checks would be payable to Samaritan's Purse with OCC in the memo line for Operation Christmas Child. So that is tonight. And then next Friday is our Christmas sock hop, and we're going to have the tickets available tonight because it is a $10 pre-sale. They save, I think, $5 on tickets. So we have Terry Morris of Molly Be Creative printed out really beautiful tickets for us. So we will have tickets available actually for both the sock hop and the Christmas ball. We'll have both of those tonight. So if anybody wants to get those without having to come back to Crossroads. But let me tell you guys, Crossroads has been getting in boxes and boxes of stuff for Christmas.
Yeah.
new stuff, new shirts,
I've got to get by there and get some more shirts. My shirts are, it's time. I used to get, at least a couple a year, and I'm just having a hard time
Well,
getting in
and
there.
that's the thing is like with the shirt type of things,
Yeah.
you want to get as soon as possible because they're not going to reorder.
Yeah, they'll
And
sell out.
so the cool sizes, unless you just want extra small and extra large left, you better get in there soon. I had them on a couple days ago on Wednesday. I had Crossroads came in
good.
and they showed some of their shirts, and I was like, because we got matching jammies for our family and our dogs, and I thought, I saw that
Your dogs.
Well, you know
love it.
what? Walmart had matching jammies for your pets and people.
Oh,
I know.
that's so cute.
But when I saw the kids in their Christmas Jesus shirts, I said to Steven, because he was here, I said, let's get those shirts as well because they'll go great with our jammy pants. And then we have a Christian jammies.
Yeah.
So I need to get into Crossroads today as well and look at that. Now, Crossroads will not be open during this concert.
Okay.
Matter of fact, they are closing early today because they have another event to go to. So I think they're closing at like 4 or 4:30. So get in. And then also, though, she did tell me that when people come tonight it's tonight, isn't it? Oh my goodness. When people come tonight for the concert, they can look in the store. And if they see stuff, we're going to have some stickies there. You can put your name and your phone number on it, and we'll hold it behind the counter.
Okay.
Because they did get so much merchandise in that it's going to be hard to walk through the store and not see
Now go,
something.
oh, I know somebody that needs that, and I don't want anybody to buy it before
Yeah.
me. Yeah, okay, that's a great idea.
So, so we're going to do that. We're going to have some boxes behind the counter so that people can do that. So you can get, the doors open at 6:30. You can get a little bit of your shopping done.
And then just go by and pick it up tomorrow when they're open, or next week or whenever. So
Right.
that's
And their
great. That's a great
hours,
idea.
their regular hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. And then Saturdays are open 10 to 3.
Yeah.
And last Saturday was really busy downtown because I was over at the Well, because we have the spot next to and then also the ballroom, behind.
Right.
And I was on the next to part, where have you seen my window yet?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Isn't it
I love it. It's
pretty?
just so cute. I just love it.
So we got all our
absolutely love
lights
it.
up and
I know, it's just beautiful.
I kind of decorated the well, kind of like Snoopy's doghouse with,
It's so cute. So cute. So
Christmas,
cute. You did such a great
Oh,
job.
thank you.
You're such an asset to the downtown. I mean, that's what the things what you're doing is what we need in downtown, and we need more of it. And I just am so proud of you for what you've done. I mean, seriously, you blow my mind. You really do.
We're making friends there, and we're being family for some people that don't have family.
Yeah.
And that is what actually the dance world did for me when I started, because I was in grad school, and of course, very stressed out in grad school because you get, when I was at Claremont, we got, I don't know how many hundreds of pages to read every night, and I was just stressing, and so I found the world of just social dancing. So I started just taking ballroom classes, waltz, foxtrot, cha-cha, swing. And that turned into, me becoming a swing dance teacher and then a performer and then a teacher. I ended up teaching over 10,000 adults, and we were family for so many people. And that's how it was for me, because at that time I was single and, I didn't really have a family of my own. I have 5 older siblings. They all had their own families. And so I was just kind of like out there. And so for me, the dance world was like an instant family. Just add water.
love that. I love that.
And so that's what I want to be. And we have a lot of people like that are maybe like newly out of some type of relationship, or their spouse recently died or whatever, like whatever it is, there's so much healing going on there.
That's beautiful. I
In
love that.
Cindy's class too,
I love her. She's so neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so cool. Fascinating.
And I love her class, and I have to tell you, when I miss her class, I can feel it.
Yeah.
So I felt great yesterday because
It's
I
with
took her
bands.
class.
It's with bands and stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
resistance
Yeah.
bands. So, you're getting the same type of work. You are getting a total body workout without having to worry about dropping a weight on your foot.
Yeah.
Because everything is bands. And I use easy bands. Some people use the hard. She's got all the colors from green to black.
Yeah.
And it's a $5 class,
Yeah.
Tuesday and Thursday mornings, 10:15. We moved it to 10:15 so that Crossroads would already be open. So it's easy to just get in and go down to the ballroom. And then of course my line dance class follows that at 11. But we're just being positive. People say, I don't know how to dance. I have no rhythm. I have 2 left feet. Great. We're not, we're there to exercise.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. And with good music and just positive. So that's what we're trying to do there.
I love it. I love it. Lee Marie's here talking about all the things going on. Just try your best to be a part of this tonight. It's for a really great cause. And if you've never listened to Steve, He is so entertaining, so much fun, and just you telling me what all he's doing, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a great show.
Yeah.
So I hope you'll come out and just bring something to donate for Samaritan's Purse, get some boxes. Do you know when those have to be in?
Yes. Next week is the official collection week. And I know we have two main churches in Robertson County who are the collection people, and that's Springfield Baptist and also Ebenezer Baptist in Greenbrier.
Okay.
Those are the two main places that are
You know the actual date, not just next week, but like, is it Wednesday?
I want to say Friday is the last day, but we'll definitely find out tonight.
Yeah, let me know, because I really want to do this with my grands. You know, we had last couple of years we've been able to go and do the boxes with United Way for Thanksgiving, and they're doing that different this year. So I thought, man, I'd really love to do something real tangible, because when they're little, this kind of stuff means something.
Right.
Going and packing. And I even thought, you know, that's something that Brian mentioned yesterday, you know, while they're not doing what they have done in the past, because, you know, you have to change things up. What works one year doesn't work forever. And so while they're still saying, you know, if you want to contribute, go shopping. You know, I'm telling my grandkids and go shopping. You know, buy some peanut butter and some, you know, staples, you know, like Chef Boyardee, and think about things that you liked when you were a kid. You know, nutrition, like granola bars and those kinds of things, and try to get good, healthy food, but things that are easy and that are, you know, very mobile, because that's the main thing is, you know, we want to be able to make sure these kiddos are getting
Now, I
what they
think
need.
in the boxes, I don't think there's food
Can't do
anymore.
that.
I don't,
No.
yeah. But
I'm
you can do
talking
it with
about
other,
you can do that and then take it
to the blessing boxes
United
and
Ministries.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's a
that's
lot of,
what I mean.
there's a lot of blessing boxes around.
Yes.
now. There
Oh,
really
isn't
are.
that cool? Those are just the neatest things, and people can go and get what they need to you know, get through the weekend.
Right. And also be going through your shelves, because, you know, you don't want to take expired stuff, but if you have stuff that, you know, it's like, okay, I got, you know, 8 cans of spinach. There's no way I'm going to eat all this by December 31st. Well, you know, take 6 of them and take them out before they, you know.
Before they expire. Yeah. And but
Because all of
again,
us have stuff that's ready, you know,
bet.
to get out.
Yeah. So I mean, we all need to be cleaning our pantries and stuff. But let's talk about the UPS store just together, because I mean, they were sponsoring your show, and then they came on and started sponsoring One Street Over, and just love them. We're all in there because we all order on Amazon, and we all have things we got to take back, and they're pros. I've never been in there that it just wasn't like that. I mean, just quick. The way they take care of you and the speed and the courtesy blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind, the proficiency of there. And then I'm always in there seeing something new. You know, and I talk about, I like to get little gifts in the UPS store because I've got all boys. And they've got a lot of little things, you know, pens and flashlights and things like that are great little stocking stuffers. And so I end up buying little Christmas gifts in there a lot. And I just always, every time I do their ad, I want to mention that every single person in there is a notary. You cannot beat that. That's something when I learned that, when Tom told me that, I was like, you're kidding me. And last year when we were trying to take care of all mom and dad's stuff and we were, you know, selling their estate and all that, I had to get things notarized several times. And I can remember having to do that several years ago and having to figure out where I was going to go. Of course, they had one at the library. Well, is he there? And is the, you know, and trying to figure it out. UPS store, everybody in there's a notary. You go in, you need something notarized. It's simple. It's, you know, very minimal. I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's cheap, and they take care of it. They've got a graphics art person that will help you with stuff if you need something done there at the UPS store. If you need something, they helped us with our name tags that we did for Celebrate Recovery, the last ones we did. We did them in there because what I could do at church was just not heavy duty enough. I wanted something that was, you know, a little bit more, just a little bit more durable. And so I had them print them, and they did a beautiful job, and they helped me out with it. But the UPS store, they are located at 4297 Springfield, Tennessee, 4297 Springfield, Tennessee.
Memorial Boulevard.
What did I say? Okay.
Yeah, I think they're 513 Memorial Boulevard.
Okay, well, I'm pulling this up, and it's giving me the wrong address here. Okay, let's do this right here. Okay, thank you, darling. Yeah, 513 Memorial Boulevard. There you go. 513, thank you for correcting me on that.
problem.
First thing that popped up was wrong. 513, it's store number 42.
4297.
That's the store number.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's 513 Memorial Boulevard, Springfield. The phone number is 615-384-0093, 615-384-0093. And their hours, they're open 7 days a week. If you want to go by and see them, they're going to be opening real soon here. They open at 8 o'clock this morning, but Monday through Friday, they're open 8 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. Saturday, they're open 9 to 5, and they even have some Sunday hours, 12 to 5. So if you want to talk to some of the nicest people in the world and get great, efficient service, go see them at the UPS
One
store.
thing that I really love is emailing them stuff for printing. And so that is the email address for that is store, S-T-O-R-E, 4297 at theupsstore.com. And I love that because I do a lot of things at the library, in the computer lab at the library. I will, because I don't have all of the programs on my laptop. So I'll go do it in the lab, and then I just email it to them. And by the time I just drive from the library to UPS store, it's ready.
That's cool.
And I love that. And sometimes I'll even put in the email, I'm probably going to come Sunday or Monday to pick this up. Hopefully I'll be there today, but if I'm not, please hold it. And so it's just wonderful. And I walk in and they're like, oh, it's ready, and I love that.
Yeah, for sure. And, and that's something else about the library I never even thought about. They do have that computer lab, and I never thought about all the software programs that they have. And graphic design stuff.
Yeah.
Really? I need to go and check that out. Because that's something I could refer my kids to that don't have computers.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
never
them.
really thought about that they could utilize that lab during off-school hours.
And one thing, I used to do a lot of flyers in Publisher, and now it's not supported by Microsoft anymore, which I was so bummed about.
Yeah.
However, I found out that PowerPoint, you can do flyers in PowerPoint
Really?
and still move everything around like you did in Publisher. Yes, my
Really?
world has been expanded. Yeah. Thank you, Debbie, from line dance class that showed me that. Yes, I was super excited. I never would have thought.
Publisher a lot.
Yeah, I was so bummed when it went away, and I used to go around whining to people, and no one told me that PowerPoint you could do this stuff. And so she actually, I had her do a flyer for me, and when she sent it to me, I saw it was in PowerPoint, and I said, hold on a second, and I started moving stuff around, because it was very user friendly, just like Publisher. Yeah. So there's your tip for the day.
Tip for the day. Look at all you learn when you tune in to 1100 WSGI.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And my sweet friend Lee Marie, the Ghost Show, comes on you get 2 full hours of local programming on Wednesday, 7 to 8. You get One Street Over, and then Lee Marie comes in with the Ghost Show at 8 till 9. And then you're in here a lot on Fridays too.
Yeah, the first Friday is Health Friday. So if Wild Doc can't come, we have another type of holistic type of
Very
person
good.
on,
and that's good stuff. So what else do we need? We got a couple of minutes.
I do want to tell people that on the Go Show, I try to go over a lot of community events because there's so much always going on.
So much.
But lately, I haven't been able to say them all on air because we've had such good guests coming on that what I just do is I just go on the Lee Marie page and I just share them on my Facebook. So if you are looking for other events, you can go through that. Now, I know you have to weed through some of my other Facebook posts, but, I just want to let you know that there's so many things going on. And guys, remember, that is what your children are going to remember are these things like that, these events, this time. That's the greatest way you can show love is by taking them places. They're not going to remember this certain video game, blah, blah, blah. So really, I know what I wanted to tell people. It's super cool. And I don't know if there's still tickets left, but I know there was as of last night.
Are you talking about the Voices of Lee?
I know the Nashville Ballet, Nutcracker, has a special matinee that I guess the homeschoolers had asked for it. But it looks like anybody can go on. And so it's like from 10:30 to 1 on the 18th. It's a Thursday. You can get tickets for $15. I know. I'm going on the thing today because we have a lot of homeschool kids that come. Like, we have a sewing class on Mondays from 10 to 12. So we have 5 little girls in that right now. So
fun.
Yeah, and some of them are making their gown for the Christmas ball.
Oh, how cute. I am so excited about that. That's going to be wonderful. Yeah. You got so many wonderful things going on. Well done, sister.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me come on. I hope you guys all come out to Coldstream this Sunday, 3 p.m. for the Fall Festival, something for everyone. Please share it. I'm sharing it on my page. And like I said, it's $5 pre-sale, $10 at the door. Great donation. And thank you, Cindy, from Lending Hand and Cope for sponsoring all the food.
Yeah, and 2, don't forget about the Steve Jarrell thing tonight.
Steve Jarrell tonight. Jarrell rhymes with barrel.
I say his name.
I know. Half the people say Jarrell. But then, how I remember? Jarrell rhymes with barrel. So there you go. There you
There you
go.
go.
So yes, we will definitely see you guys tonight at Well in the Square, which is inside Crossroads Christian Bookstore, which is located at 600 South Main Street in the beautiful downtown Springfield Square. And if you don't know where it is, you know, when we look out our window to the right across the street, we see the beautiful historic courthouse.
Yes.
So that's how you know how close we are. There's plenty of free parking around, and we're going to have a grand old time tonight.
And I just want to mention one thing. TBN, they have all kinds of shows that they do. They have Voices of Lee, and I think it's tonight. But you might still be, I would rather you go to the Steve thing. But let's just be real. But I just want to remind you to pay attention to what goes on at TBN. Because when they have a taping or something, those tickets are free. And you can go to these shows because they need audience members. And there's something that, you know, we had mentioned, but like I said, I doubt you could, you know, even get into this one today, but it is something, it's a place to follow because they do a lot of cool stuff there. And when they're doing a taping, you can go in and get in to see some great shows for nothing because just they need audience members. So I just know that's happening today, the Voices of Lee. So, you know, follow TBN and what they do and keep up with what's happening there. But with all that said, find a church this weekend. If you're not part of the body, guys, please, 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 please knock on a church door, go in. And if it's not the right one for you, then go to another one next Sunday.
There are so many awesome churches around.
So many. And what you're going to be like, you're going to probably be like she and I. If I can't, there's so many that I love. I end up going virtually to many that I'm not able to go physically because I just want to, you know, see what's going on.
Yeah, and we go to 4 of them physically.
You do. That is hysterical. I thought you did go to a bunch. Yes. You know, that's hysterical. I love that. That's so cool. That's so cool. You just spend the day.
Yep.
That's a good way to spend. That's a good way to spend.
Well, it's so hard. There's so many awesome churches.
Yeah. You talk about that's the way to spend your Sabbath right there, or your Shabbat, as they say in Israel.
And there's other days of the week too that you can, you know, some of them have Tuesdays, some have Wednesdays, some have Thursdays. So.
Church night Wednesday. Well, we have, you know, CR stuff at Epiphany on Tuesday night, and then I also have the CR stuff we do at Madison on Wednesday night, church on Sunday. So, you know.
Here's the thing. You have never heard, I've never said to myself, man, I wish I didn't go to church today. No, that never, ever happens.
Never came out of my mouth.
But sometimes the enemy tries to talk you out of going. And you're like, oh, well, I should do this or I should do that. No. Get out there, invite a friend, call somebody, say, hey, I don't want to go alone. Will you go with me? Or, hey, I want to pick you up.
Yep.
You know, that really helps, guys.
But that's a really good observation. Never, ever heard. I wish I hadn't gone today. No.
Same thing with like taking a shower. Like, you know, at night you're like, I should take a shower. Oh, I shouldn't. You never like take one and go, I shouldn't have taken a shower. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with church.
It's that refresh. I love it. I love you, friend. And happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday and celebrated.
Very good. Love you guys. And we'll be back here on Monday talking to Caleb Stratton, maybe Sheriff Van Dyke. I talked to Jess, and she's going to try to get Sheriff in here. We'll just see. Jess will be here if Sheriff can't make it in. But I've already confirmed with Caleb. He is coming in, and we're going to be talking about hunting seasons upon us. My husband almost shot a buck with the wrong weapon this weekend, and he'd had a huge fine. Huge fine. I told him, I said, no, muzzleloader only or bow right now. Rifle season doesn't start until right before Thanksgiving. And I stopped him because it was a beautiful buck out in our front yard that he wanted to harvest. And I said, you can't. You don't have a muzzleloader. And I said, unless you want to get your crossbow out. And I called Caleb and I said, what would the fine be? Oh, my goodness.
Really?
Huge.
Oh.
Enormous. We'll be talking about that Monday. You're curious about how much it'll cost you if you shoot a deer out of season in Tennessee? Don't do it. Don't do it, y'all. Well, we'll get the details from Caleb on Monday and hope you'll join us. Have a great weekend. Go to church. Find a church. This is 1100 WSGI. And go to the show tonight. Crossroads Christian in the ballroom. Go through there. What time it start?
Doors open at 6:30. Concert starts at 7. There'll be free sandwiches and just a great time.
And raising a lot of money for Samaritan's Purse, guys. And the Operation Christmas Child. Thank you. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless you.
Hallelujah.